105.7 The Point, everything alternative. We are backstage. We are at Busch Stadium.
Busch
Kirk
Stadium.
Hammett from Metallica joining us today. Thank you. It's absolutely an honor to get the chance to meet you.
Cheers, likewise.
All right, so first we're going to talk about things that are not music related.
Okay.
I saw your Instagram post on Friday night about coming to St. Louis, looking for some comic book spots.
Yeah.
Did you find any?
Well, I found one spot, but you know what? I didn't have time enough to make it to the place.
Sure. It happens, I'm sure.
Or in other words, I had every intention on going today, but I made the mistake of picking up my guitar in my hotel room, and
There it
2.5 hours later, I put it down. And I thought, oh, well, there went my gallivanting around the city time.
Well, when I'm buying records, I find days where there's things where I either have it or just don't want it. Like with the collection of memorabilia and comics and things that you have horror related, do you have a tough time sometimes finding things you need and that you want and that aren't already in the collection?
Well, I just kind of leave myself open to just anything when I'm just out there and just out and about. It's crazy because just recently on the East Coast, I went out to a comic store to buy some comic books that I knew had just come out. And I found something that I'd been looking for like the last 20 years. And I did a double take. I was like, is that really what I think it is in the cabinet? And sure enough, it was. And I was just blown away because I've only known of one of these things through another book.
Right.
I saw a picture of it in another book. I've never actually seen one, in the flesh. But lo and behold, there it was. And so I was like, oh my God! I just have to grab that thing.
Did you get excited for the find?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I took pictures of it. I called a bunch of friends and I said, "Look what I found! Have you seen one of these?" And all of them said, "No, not at all. That's probably a one-of-a-kind piece."
Man, well, that's a win. That's a win.
Well, it's from 1933 too.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. So we turn things to the show here tonight. I'm really excited to see. I haven't seen you guys in quite a while. But one of the parts that I'm looking most forward to is the actual show, the actual stage. Like I've been watching the stage set up from the first show in Baltimore and things. How long does the preparation for that stage start before you guys know that you're going to go out on a run? And how much do you guys weigh in on, how you want it to look and the particulars of it?
Well, I mean, this stage is an evolution of a stage that we started to play on like 2 or 3 years ago, and so that's how we got to this point. But yeah, usually, this is a stage that you can't just put up, the day of the show.
Sure,
it has, the first few pieces gotta start showing up, a couple of days in advance, and it's a task. I mean, it's just like, erecting, a huge erector set.
Right,
right. The erector set's the kids' erector set. That's what it's like, but just on a mass scale. And, it takes a lot of time to put it together. And then once it is together, you have to check everything, spot check everything.
Right.
Then once that's done, you actually put the stage on, the back line comes on, they do their thing. I mean, it's a process, a definite process, and I have to hand it to our crew. They know what it takes, they know how much time it takes, how much effort it takes, and they know what it takes to get it to a point where it's safe.
Sure.
And then they know how to get to a point where it's like ready for us to walk out on stage.
How many people do you have out with you? Do you know?
It just
it's a couple hundred.
Yeah, well, it fluctuates from tour to tour, but depending on the production, our root crew, our crew that's a constant is around 60 to 70 people.
Very cool.
Yeah. And people are added or some go depending on the situation.
Well, and I know, final question for you here, Kirk. I know that there was quite a length between albums, between when we received Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Now, obviously, you did the Lou Reed project, you did the movie. But I think I've even heard you kind of say in quotes, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that you hope that it's not that long of a wait before we get another Metallica record. Do you believe this next one will come a little bit quicker? I know that's probably a tough thing to say at this point. You're very early in the album cycle, but what do you think?
That would be nice. I mean, I don't believe we've done something like that since I guess around the Load, Reload, Garage Days, Revisited, S&M kind of period.
Sure.
Where there was just like a real concentrated period of output,
Sure, like every other year.
Yeah, it'd be nice, to get to that, because we were still kind of like actively touring behind an album, but we had these other things coming in too that kind of changed the tone of the tour that we're on, and like introduced other cool different songs and different factors. Like when the S&M thing came out, we were all of a sudden playing with the symphony, which was quite a different thing. So I mean, if we can do something like that, it would be great, but this is a really big machine, and,
sure.
And sometimes it takes time to steer it this way or steer it that way.
I gotcha.
In terms of like pure inertia, it takes, it's an effort.
Very good. Well, listen, new album is great. Absolutely can't wait to see it tonight. Kirk, thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.
We are at Busch Stadium. It's Donny.